The voice at the other end of the phone is unrecognizable. To say it's iconic wouldn't be an understatement. Everyone has heard it a million times, it gets the hair up on the back of the neck every time, and this time is no different. It was unmistakably the voice, yet the words coming out somehow didn't quite match. There was something pretty weird about hearing Michael Buffer, yeah, boxing's Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy, explaining how Motherwell had lost 5-1 to St Johnstone, not even St Johnstone, but their form had picked up going into the Scottish Cup final. Not something you hear every day. Image, Reuters, it probably sums up the man though. A total pro who doesn't do anything by halves. Cup sponsors William Hill have drafted in the famous ring announcer for Hampden tomorrow, and the California-based superstar has spent the week doing his homework. Get this. Speaking to Record Sport from his home in Los Angeles, Buffer said, "The Celtics, yeah, close enough, are certainly the favorites, and Motherwell are the big underdogs. I never pick a side when I'm announcing a big boxing match, but there's always a part of you rooting for the underdog, I guess." Buffer will stick with the trademark tux rather than wearing amber and claret though. No point in splitting the crowd. No one is better at getting them on board though. Those famous 5 words of his are woven into modern sporting culture. Ring announcer Michael Buffer, Image, Reuters. Buffer said, "I had no idea the catchphrase would take off like it has. When I was starting out, the announcers would name everyone from the boxing board at ringside, and by the time they got to the fighters they were almost an afterthought. I wanted to let people know the formalities were done and it was time for what they'd paid to come and see. I tried a few other expressions first, things like, man your battle stations and fasten your seatbelts, but nothing. I remembered something Muhammad Ali used to say at weigh-ins, I'm ready to rumble. So I started pausing and sure enough, the crowd went wild. That's when I knew I was onto a winner. A new career was born. It was certainly more fun than the previous ones for Buffer. He said, I was a car salesman. I was horrible at it and had to make a living elsewhere. Then I was a model for a while, and then aged 38 I started as a ring announcer. I was pretty horrible at that as well at first." Ricky Burns with legendary announcer Michael Buffer. Image, Ian McFadden, Media Scotland. It didn't take him long to get the hang of it though. The catchphrase has gone all around the world and back several times over. It even ended up as a song for Ant and Dec's alter egos PJ and Duncan. It's not just the saying that's traveled. It's taken Buffer on an incredible globe-trotting journey that shows no signs of slowing down now. When he is done in Glasgow he's off to Poland, on to Ukraine and then back to New York City, and at 73 there's no thoughts of hanging up the mic. He said, "That's the great thing about this job. It's taken me all around the world and right to the heart of some incredible sporting events. There's the boxing of course, but I've done the baseball World Series, NASCAR, NFL, wrestling, I've done television and movies, like the Rocky franchise, and I'm playing myself in the new Creed one later this year. Every time I think about retiring I just thinking about how much fun it is having all of these experiences." Buffer said, "I've been in Glasgow a few times for fights and most recently with Ricky Burns, the Rickster. He's such a great guy. He's achieved so much in boxing but also put so much back in. The atmosphere is always incredible on those big arena nights in Scotland. Passion. That's what you feel from the crowd. I love it. I've had the soccer, or football, crowd is even louder. I think it will be really special at Hampden and I can't wait to do my thing and then take my seat in the stands to watch. Buffer's prediction. Simply a great game and he's hoping his part won't be a dampener. Literally. Last week he was on duty for Chelsea v Liverpool and got soaked by the sprinklers. Image, Chelsea FC via Getty Images. I had about 5 names to go and got completely drenched, he laughs. I still managed to get the job done though. Always the pro, and he added, I should be okay in Glasgow as there's not usually much need for sprinklers in Scotland. The weather's actually been more California than Castle Milk in these parts this week, so there might not be the thunder and lightning witnessed at last year's final. Either way, Hampden will be ready to rumble.